What was progressivism fighting against? Although today we glorify many progressive policies from the 20th century, we tend to forget what the policies were fighting against. The unprecedented wave of immigration and industrialization which transformed 19th century America produced lawlessness in chaotic urban centers which progressives sought to stabilize. Firstly, chaos and violence were brought about by first-wave urbanization. Secondly, the powerful grip of machine politics led to government corruption. And thirdly, gangs dominated immigrant communities within American cities. First off, the rising tide of chaos and violence there was a rising tide of chaos and violence brought by first-wave urbanization. There was a rapid transfer of population from country to city that had many side effects. Cities emerged chaotically without the needed infrastructure. There was a lack of water transport, sewage. There was a lack of water, sewer, and garbage transport, and these were major issues. The pollution and poor sanitation led to rancid streets and waterways. The solution? Sewer systems. The Thames River was the first to need it. It got so backed up that it fully stopped. So they decided that they needed sewers. They took up the middle of the streets and dug tunnels. The idea spread to other cities. One place in Ohio, the Cuyahoga River, was another river that really needed sewage. It got so much sewage that it caught on fire. This had been a huge problem, but it was now taken care of. And it still is due to progressive policies. Another issue was a large influx of people, and without the constraints of a small town, they felt free to do anything. One example was of a man who went by H.H. Holmes. He started out as a con man that took life insurance policies on people that looked like people in the morgue, and then pretended that the people in the morgue died and got their money. After he had a lot of money, he built a large castle where he murdered people for skeletons to sell. Orrin Gray said about the actual building after Holmes was found out that, quote, much of it was destroyed by a mysterious fire in 1985, unquote. Some believe that Holmes' colleagues were destroying evidence. Others think that if they were Chicago natives, which is where it took place, who wanted it to not be a tourist attraction. It almost certainly would not have. Holmes would almost certainly have done almost none of this if he were better monitored by the police, or if Chicago was smaller and more constraining. And secondly, sheer chaos and lawlessness led to the rise of machine politics, which led to a corrupt government. The political machines relied on patronage along with theft. One such example was Tammany Hall, which was led by Boss Tweed. Quote, Boss Tweed and his associates are thought to have stolen somewhere between $30 million and $200 million from New York City, unquote, according to Alex Palmer. With this money, they gained power. It was a cycle. Eventually, they gained government power and were giving money to themselves from inside the government. One example of this was the New York County Courthouse. The governor, the people in the government who were also in Tammany Hall, that it cost a lot more than was actually needed. Then they hired people from Tammany Hall at astounding prices. After they got money to build told the workers, got some money for themselves, and gave the rest to Tammany Hall. And then they gained more money and therefore more power. And thirdly and finally, gangs dominated communities within American cities. Jane Addams tried to move immigrants from ethnic gangs to all-American communities. One of these prominent gangs was the Irish gangs, and one prominent member of these was Sadie the Goat. Her name was based on the fact that she used her track on how she stole money, which was partially due to her attractiveness. She dressed up nice and went into a rich neighborhood. Then she attracted the men and then headbutted them like a goat. Then her partners dragged the man into an alleyway and stole everything, including his clothes. One day she went to go drinking, but the bar was owned by an English woman, and when she was told to get out, when Sadie was told to get out, she refused to back down. The owner ripped off Sadie's ear with her teeth, and Sadie realizes that her shtick is up, because with half an ear missing or whatever, she really can't attract men well. So she becomes the gang leader who become pirates along the New York coastline. The locals who were getting robbed eventually made a mutual defense pact, and when they won, Sadie tried to go back to a normal life. Her and the owner of the bar even made up, and Sadie got her ear back. Quote, Sadie wore her severed ear in a locket around her neck for the rest of her life, unquote, according to Joseph J. Bruno. Sadie was an extreme case, but gangs hadn't been new. They started soon after the Revolutionary War, and their craziness only increased with time. Gang violence got worse when there were boundary wars and police-gang alliances. These are just some primary examples of what progressives were fighting against in gangs. But they were not only fighting against gangs, they were also fighting against political machines leading to government corruption and the chaos and violence brought about by first-wave urbanization, as can be evident in what we are seeing today, caused by the progressive policies we can enjoy ourselves. Thank you.